Hey students, today I would like to talk to you about AI. Technology changes the way that people do things, and we have a tendency as humans to sometimes overreact to these changes. People said that calculators would destroy our ability to do math, and there were protests by some teachers. Now, research has largely said this is not true. The National Council of Teachers of Mathematics says, quote, technology is essential in teaching and learning mathematics. It influences the mathematics that is taught and enhances students' learning. Let's look at some examples of unacceptable AI-produced writing and consider three questions. One, does the text share a student's knowledge and perspective of a subject or the AI's knowledge and perspective? Two, is the relationship between the ideas, the overall structure, designed by the student or the AI? And three, has the sentence structure, diction, or tone been significantly altered by the AI? All right, this is a free version of ChatGPT. It's a little bit older. It's ChatGPT 3.5, and I'm going to give it a very simple prompt and ask it to write an 800-word college essay on features of the science fiction genre. I want it to include examples and an APA reference page, and we'll see what it generates. Exploring the frontier of imagination, features of the science fiction genre. We have an introduction. We have some, looks like appropriate sections in the body, a conclusion, and references. It looks like this essay uses Blade Runner, District 9, Dune, Interstellar, and other appropriate films. Let's scroll to the top and check out the sentence structure and word choice. Science fiction stands as a beacon of imaginative exploration, offering a boundless expanse. No student writes like this. This essay obviously violates all three rules. The content's generated by the AI, the organization is generated by the AI, and so are all the words. It's a clear violation, and you shouldn't do this. Sometimes students use AI to help them outline their writing assignments. And on the surface, this seems like a pretty benign use. And if a student's just getting main categories from the AI, just some broad suggestions for an outline, that's less problematic. But what I'm asking AI here is to generate an entire outline for an essay. I specify the word length of the essay, and the AI is going to respond with a pretty granular outline that tells me what to write about in each paragraph or each section, and then all the subtopics. This is too heavily relying on the AI to make those connections between ideas. And so the AI is really doing all of the thinking for the student. And for me, this is a violation of Rule 2. Other professors may feel differently about it, so this is something that you should always ask about. I think a lot of the misuse of AI might actually be accidental. In this case, I'm going to show how a student could submit a piece of writing they actually did to the AI and ask for help with revision. The problem with asking an AI to rewrite something that you wrote is that the AI will often very aggressively change the sentence structure, the word choice, and the tone. It may keep the same ideas in the same order, but the resulting document sounds like it was written by a graduate student or a professor, or actually a graduate student or professor who's trying to use all of the big words that they know. And the net effect is that the document will sound like it's an AI produced piece of writing. In this case, I'm going to feed the AI a poorly written sample with lots of grammatical errors. For example, I likes all the science stuffs, and I likes how they are in space a bunch, and I like how there are sometimes robots and other cool technology that we could have in the future. That's one of the winner sentences. And let's see what the AI does with this paragraph. I'm betting that it is going to be far more sophisticated. Here we go. As a young child, I developed a keen fascination for science fiction films. Let's look at this middle sentence. The allure of these films lay not only in their captivating narratives, but also in their exploration of scientific concepts, often set against the backdrop of space, accompanied by the presence of futuristic technologies such as robots. This is clearly not the same sentence that I wrote. It's obvious to everyone who reads this, from other students to professors, that this is not the same paragraph. Students sometimes tell me that they use Grammarly to help them write. And when Grammarly was a tool that just helped students with spelling and punctuation and some minor word choice errors, it was an acceptable tool. But now Grammarly has a generative AI built in, and it can generate entire sections of documents based on a prompt, as you'll see me doing here. It can also revise entire sections to change the word choice, to change the tone, to make the sections more detailed, to make these sections shorter. It can basically do everything that ChatGPT can do, but at the click of a button. So it is as dangerous of a tool. If you're a student, you may be looking at this and think, wow, this is fantastic, but a little bit dangerous. And if you're a professor, you may be looking at this thinking, wow, this is going to change everything about how I teach and what I expect from students. And the technology is still developing. So we're not sure what it's eventually going to be able to do and how people are actually going to use it. What I can say for now is that there are some AI uses that I think are acceptable. And let's talk about those. Here you see a Microsoft Word document. There are some red squiggly lines and some blue underlines and some dots that let me know where I have spelling errors, punctuation errors, wordiness. This is a form of AI, and this is totally an acceptable use of AI to help you identify errors. In fact, I really like this type of AI because the students have to think about the types of errors that they're making and the corrections before they're implemented. While the generative AI features in Grammarly can be problematic for students, old school Grammarly functions are really pretty helpful. You'll see here that just like Microsoft Word, there are a lot of errors that are underlined in red, and then as I work through each item on this menu, Grammarly will ask me to accept the change and sometimes even suggest other options for me. And when I'm all done, because this is the free version, Grammarly will also show me other errors that could be corrected if I upgraded. I'm not going to do that right now. There's also a menu, a button on the right for generative AI. And if I click that generative AI button, an option will pop up to improve the entire document all at once, similar to how I asked ChatGPT to rewrite the entire document. I would caution students against using this option, and if you do use it, certainly compare the results to make sure that no significant changes were made to the sentence structure, diction, or tone. As long as we're talking about very mild uses of generative AI to improve our writing, I should note that ChatGPT can be asked to be a less aggressive editor. In this case, I'm going to paste in that poorly written sample and tell the AI that I only want it to look at the grammar, spelling, and punctuation and make those improvements. The problem is that as a student, I don't see the types of errors that are being corrected. I'm not individually approving each correction. And so this has limited learning value. This is different than Grammarly, where at the very least I can see all the red squiggles before I hit the improve button. So I would caution students against using this method in our class, and you should certainly always ask your instructor about their preferences. We can also use AI to help us become better readers. In this case, I'm going to highlight and copy a section from a pretty complex essay about the science fiction genre, and then I'm going to go to ChatGPT, paste it in, and ask the AI to simplify this text for me. And I'm hoping that the result is something that I can more easily understand. Um, Obviously, after I read this summary, I would then want to go back to the original text and reread it, and hopefully I could understand a lot more. And we can see that right now, Chat gave us a very friendly summary. Sure, this text talks about the increasing importance of science fiction in today's world, and the language is very accessible. This is one of my favorite uses for AI. The important thing to remember as we move forward into a new era of computing is to always be open and honest about how we're using this technology. And if you ever have any questions, make sure that you ask your employer or professors about their guidelines. I hope that this has been helpful. And as that character from Star Trek says, may you live long and prosper. Thanks.